Good morning. May I have your name and date of birth?
Vanessa Costa.
Thank you. We're here today on 4 different cases. The first is a Superior Court new case. You were arrested on allegations of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I will find probable cause and I will appoint you an attorney. I'm setting a status conference on September 30th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on October 3rd at 8:30, both in the downtown Superior Court. I will issue a secured bond in the amount of $250 on this case. We're also here today on 2 probation violation warrants out of Maricopa County for violating terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I will appoint you an attorney on each of these 2 cases and set a probation revocation arraignment hearing on October 1st at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. And I will also set a secured bond on the amount of $250 on each of those cases. Finally, we're here today on a probation case out of the Pinal County Superior Court. I will appoint you an attorney to represent you in Pinal County. I am setting an arraignment hearing on September 27th at 8:30 a.m. in the Pinal County Superior Court. Pinal is asking to hold you non-bondable because it's a violation of probation. So I will affirm their orders, hold you non-bondable for probation violation. So that does mean you're going to be held at least until that next hearing. I'm setting bonds on your other 3 cases. Don't post that until you know what's going to happen with the Pinal case. If they end up releasing you on the Pinal case, then you can post those bonds. Otherwise, you're just going to be held without credit for time served in those 3 cases.
Okay.
All of these will be provided to you in writing. Do you have any questions about my orders?
No.
Okay, go ahead and grab that to your left and take a seat. Good morning. May I have your name and date of birth?
Tanil Yazi.
Thank you. We're here today on 2 different cases. The first is a Superior Court new case. You were arrested on allegations of 2 counts of narcotic drug possession, Class 4 felonies, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. I will find probable cause as to the drug paraphernalia in one of the 2 narcotic drug possession allegations, not the other one. That doesn't mean that allegation goes away. The state could still charge you with that or something similar moving forward, but I was not provided enough from the arresting agency to find probable cause. I am appointing an attorney to represent you, so speak with your attorney about what that means moving forward. I am going to set a status conference on September 30th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Because you were on felony release on another case when these allegations allegedly occurred, I do have to hold you non-bondable today. So I am setting an evidentiary hearing on October 1st at 1:30 p.m. Your attorney can argue for your release at that point in time. We're also here today on a failure to appear bench warrant on a case involving dangerous drug possession. I will appoint an attorney to represent you in that case as well. Set a status conference on September 30th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court, and I will set a secured bond in the amount of $500 on that case. But don't post the bond in that case because you're being held non-bondable in the new one. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, go ahead and grab your paperwork to your left and take a seat. Tavon Scott to the podium. And Charles White to the chair, please. Good morning, sir. May I have your name and date of birth?
Tavon Jamal Scott.
We're here today on a probation violation warrant for violating terms 3, 4, 5, and 15 of your probation. I will appoint you an attorney to represent you. I am setting a probation revocation arraignment hearing on October 1st at 8:30. That'll be in the downtown Superior Court. I am going to affirm the bond in the warrant. That's a $5,000 secured bond. That does mean you can use a bonding company. If you do post bond, I'm ordering that you not have contact with the arresting officers, no possessing any weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 24 hours because you are on intensive probation services. The general number for probation will be in your paperwork, but if you have your probation officer's direct line, you can call them directly. Did you have a question?
Yes, sir. I was at detox when all this happened. I've been in contact with my probation officer. It's all in all the paperwork. I've been in contact with her. Her name is Fleming. Her last name is Fleming. But I forgot her first name. But she told me once I get into treatment, I've been in detox for days, almost a week. I already got a bed already ready for me at Desert Point in a treatment center right now. You know what I mean? And I'm about to have surgery on my hand. She told me once I get into treatment, she was going to have the warrant quashed. Only reason why I violated is because my grandma had another stroke when I got out, bro. And that's how I broke my hand. You know what I mean? I don't want to lose my grandma and me not be able to say anything last words to her.
I understand. So I'm going to cut you off just because anything that you say in court today could be used against you. I don't want you to accidentally admit to something at this point because we're not determining guilt or innocence on whether or not you violated probation. What I'm looking at here is the last note from your probation officer was that you were reinstated on probation.
Yes.
You were supposed to serve a jail term, but you were released to a residential substance
Yes.
abuse treatment program. The same day while off property at an AANA meeting, he told staff he was leaving the program and subsequently discharged against medical advice.
Yeah, I had just
No,
talked
I
to my mom. My mom had told me my grandmother had a stroke, sir.
And I understand that leaving that program may have been the best thing for your family, but it still comes down to whether or not that would be a violation of
But I got
probation.
back up. I didn't just stay violated. I got back up and I
understand what you're
turned
saying.
myself in.
So these are more statements for your attorney on whether your attorney can argue whether or not you violated. We're not determining that today. We're just setting release conditions. Because of what I'm reviewing here, I am going to affirm that bond at this point in time. That does mean you can use a bonding company if that $5,000 you can't post that yourself. Otherwise, you can also talk with your attorney. Your attorney can argue for a modification at the next hearing.
So there's no way I can get OR to go to make
Not
one?
today.
So what's my bond?
$5,000.
Cash only?
No, it's secured. You can use a bonding company.
So what's the cure me? I don't understand.
So you can go through a bonding company. The bonding company requires, generally speaking, 10% plus collateral to post that on your behalf. So that would be $500.
$500, that's it?
Correct.
No collateral?
They would likely need collateral from you. But you'll have access to their bonding company list when you get back into processing. You can call each of them to see what their terms are.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Go ahead and grab your paperwork to your left and take a seat. Good morning, sir. May I have your name and date of birth?
Charles White.
You were here today on a Superior Court new case. You were arrested on allegations of aggravated DUI, a Class 4 felony, and aggravated DUI, your third DUI, Class 4 felony. I will find probable cause and I will appoint you an attorney. I'm setting a status conference on September 30th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on October 3rd at 8:30, both in the downtown Superior Court. I am going to issue a secured bond today in the amount of $5,000. That does mean you can use a bonding company. If you do post bond, I am ordering pretrial services supervises you in the community and that they conduct alcohol testing and monitoring as a condition of your release. I'm also going to order that you not have contact with the arresting officers, no possessing any drugs without a valid prescription, no possessing or consuming any alcohol, and no driving without a valid driver's license.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay,
So I have can I pay my $500?
So you can go through a bonding company if you'd like. You have to contact them to see what their terms are, but typically it's 10% plus collateral.
Well, I have cash to pay my own bond, like the 500.
So the bond is $5,000.
Okay.
So if you want to pay that yourself, you'd have to pay the entire $5,000.
Oh, 5,000.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do that.
Okay. So go ahead and grab your paperwork to your left and take a seat.
How do I go about doing that?
Good morning, sir. May I have your name and date of birth?
Good morning. Yes, sir. The name is Kalen Joyner.
I do apologize if I mispronounced your name. That was not my intention. We're here today on two different cases. The first is a Superior Court new case. You were arrested on allegations of resisting arrest, a Class 6 felony. I will find probable cause and I will appoint you an attorney. I'm setting a status conference on September 30th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on October 3rd at 8:30, both in the downtown Superior Court. I am going to issue a secured bond on this case in the amount of $2,500. We're also here today on a probation violation for violating Term 21. I will appoint you an attorney. Set a probation revocation arraignment hearing on October 1st at 8:30. That will also be in the downtown Superior Court. And likewise, I'll set a secured bond in the amount of $2,500. So you have a total bond of $5,000. If you do post bond, I'm ordering that you not have contact with the arresting officers, no possessing any weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You can contact your probation officer directly, or the general line for probation will be on your paperwork. Do you have any questions?
No, I denounced my citizenship. I told him that I was sovereign, and so.
Well, to be fair, that's not a way to get out of your probation violation, but I do appreciate what you're saying. I would suggest talking with your attorney about what that means moving forward. Go ahead and grab your paperwork to your left and take a seat. Jonathan Shepard to the podium, and Joanna Aguilar to the chair, please. Good morning, sir. May I have your name and date of birth?
Jonathan Shepard.
We're here today on a probation violation warrant for violating terms 3, 4, 5, and 15 of your probation. I will appoint you an attorney and set a probation revocation arraignment hearing on October 1st at 8:30. That'll be in the downtown Superior Court. I am going to affirm the bond in the warrant. That's a $2,500 secured bond. That does mean you can use a bonding company. If you do post bond, I am ordering that you not have contact with the arresting officers, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 24 hours of release because you're on intensive probation services. Do you have any questions?
The only question I have was, is there any way I could get a pretrial, like ankle bracelet?
So pretrial services isn't really available for probation cases. That's more for like new charges. At this point in time, I have reviewed everything, including your probation officer's notes. So I am going to order that bond at this point. But I am appointing you an attorney. You can talk with your attorney, and if your attorney wants to argue for a modification of my orders at the next hearing, if that's appropriate, they can do so.
All right, because yeah, they when they put me on intensive, it's like they set me up. Like now I finally got a job and all this, and I just got pulled over for not having a light on my bike.
Well, yes, that's why you were pulled over in this case, but the probation violation isn't based on that. It's based on not reporting to probation, okay? So go ahead and grab your paperwork and take a seat. Good morning, may I have your name and date of birth?
Good morning.
And your name?
Joanna Aguilar.
Thank you. We're here today on 3 different cases. The first is a Superior Court failure to appear bench warrant on a new case for narcotic drug possession. I will affirm your attorney in that case and set a status conference on September 30th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on October 3rd at 8:30, both in the downtown Superior Court. I am going to affirm the bond in this case. It's a cash bond in the amount of $500. We're also here today on 2 failure to appears on a probation violation case. I will affirm the attorney that represents you on that case already and set a probation revocation arraignment hearing on October 1st at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. And I will issue a secured bond on each of those cases in the amount of $250. So you have a total bond of $1,000. $500 of that is secured, $500 of it is cash only. As a part of your release, I'll also order that you not have contact with the arresting officers, no possessing any weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and you must contact probation within 72 hours of your release. The number will be in your paperwork. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, go ahead and grab your paperwork to your left and take a seat. Roxanne Pena to the podium, and Courtney Shiflett to the chair, please. Good morning, may I have your name and date of birth?
Roxanne Peña.
Thank you. We're here today on 2 different cases. The first is a Superior Court new case. You were arrested on allegations of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony. I am not finding probable cause as to that allegation today. That does mean the arresting agency did not provide me with enough to meet the burden of probable cause. I am still going to appoint you an attorney in this case, so speak with your attorney about what that means moving forward. I am setting a status conference on October 9th at 8:30. That'll be in the downtown Superior Court. I would suggest calling the court prior to that next court date to see if that hearing is still moving forward. The state could submit additional charges, and then that hearing will move forward. If they choose not to charge you with anything, that hearing would likely be vacated. But you do have to appear for that hearing unless you're told that it was vacated. We're also here today on a failure to appear bench warrant on an existing case for narcotic drug possession and drug paraphernalia. I will affirm the attorney that was already appointed to represent you in that case, set a status conference on September 30th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing on October 3rd at 8:30, both in the downtown Superior Court. And I will affirm the bond in the warrant. In that case, it's a $500 secured bond. So it does mean you can use a bonding company. If you do post bond on that case, I'm ordering that you not have contact with the arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, and no driving without a valid driver's license. Do you have any questions?
So I do have a bond, or
You have a bond on your existing case, but not on the new case because I'm not finding probable cause on the new case.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's the same thing on the other case too. And there was no probable cause on the other case too, but the thing is, I was sick in my leg. I have like an amputated leg, and in order for me to go, I wasn't able to walk, and I wasn't able to walk, and that was the whole point. I called Robert Webb. I think that was my attorney, and I have never got a response.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying. That's more of a conversation you need to have with your attorney on that one. It does appear from what I'm looking at here, probable cause was at least found on those other allegations. So speak with your attorney. You do need to appear at your next court date, though.
Okay, I think that when I went, that they had dropped it or something.
From what I'm seeing, it's still an active case.
Okay.
I mean, if something else needs to be filed or hasn't been filed yet, that's possible, I suppose. But as of right now, it is an active and open case.
Okay. Because when I went, they said that if you would have got it, the information, it was that's something that was thrown out.
Okay. And like I said, that's more of a question for your attorney, okay? So go ahead and grab your paperwork to your left and take a seat.
Okay, thank you.
Courtney Shiflett to the podium, and Leonel Medina to the chair, please. Good morning. May I have your name and date of birth?
Courtney Marie Shiflett.
We're here today on two different cases. The first is a Superior Court new case. You were arrested on allegations of narcotic drug possession, Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I will find probable cause and I will appoint you an attorney. I'm setting a status conference on October 9th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on October 11th at 8:30, both in the downtown Superior Court. We're also here today on a probation violation for violating Term 1 of your probation. I will appoint you an attorney and set a probation revocation arraignment hearing on October 1st at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. I am going to release you on your own recognizance on both matters to be supervised by your assigned probation officer. So I did see that you have been in communication with probation. You've been doing well. However, the only thing that I did want to note is it does look like you're lacking in the testing department.
No, it's my sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're
my
fine.
probation has been transferred 3 times in the last
Okay.
month because we moved and the jurisdictions moved, and my original probation officer, Renine, didn't send over my file,
Okay.
my full file, but I provided them with all of my UAs for the last 6
Okay.
years. So
And so, yeah,
hopefully that'll
I'm not
update it.
holding you on it. I just
Yeah.
wanted to note that it does show as a couple of no-shows, and that might be more procedural than anything.
Right.
But because of your participation, I am going to release you on your own recognizance today, but you do have to report to probation within 72 hours. I'm also going to order that you not possess any weapons, drugs, or alcohol. If you have the direct number for probation, you can call your direct probation officer. Otherwise, the general number for probation will be in your paperwork.
Yeah, my probation officer's amazing. She put me, I don't know if it showed, but she was putting me in for early termination, so.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know if you saw this whole case, but I look forward to taking it to trial.
Okay, so go ahead and grab your paperwork to your left and then have a seat.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Leonel Medina to the podium, and Jerry Henderson to the chair, please. Good morning. May I have your name and date of birth?
Leonel Medina,
Thank you. We're here today on a Superior Court new case. You were arrested on allegations of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and obstruction, a Class 2 misdemeanor. I will find probable cause and I will appoint you an attorney. I'm setting a status conference on October 9th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on October 11th at 8:30, both in the downtown Superior Court. I am going to release you today on your own recognizance. That's a promise that you'll appear for that next court date. As a part of your release, I'm also going to order that you not have contact with the arresting officers, no possessing any weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, and no driving without a valid driver's license.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, all that'll be in your paperwork. Go ahead and grab that and take a seat.
All right, thank you.
Jerry Henderson to the podium. And Gennaro Urbina to the chair, please. Good morning, sir. May I have your name and date of birth?
Yeah, Jerry Henderson.
Is your date of birth August? Okay. We're here today on a Justice Court warrant of the El Centro Justice Court. It's for an allegation of consuming liquor in public, which is a misdemeanor. Because it's a misdemeanor, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel, but you can hire an attorney at your own expense if you choose. I am going to set an arraignment hearing on October 10th at 8:30. That'll be in the El Centro Justice Court. I'm going to release you today on your own recognizance. But with the caveat is you have to go to court on this one. The note in the warrant from your assigned judge says that this is your 4th failure to appear. Any more failures to appear and you're going to appear in this court, you're likely going to have a bond set. So make sure you go and get this addressed, okay? As a part of your release, I am going to order that you not have contact with the arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, and no driving without a valid driver's license. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, go ahead and grab your paperwork to your left and take a seat. We'll have Gennaro Urbina to the podium, and then officers, can we clear the gallery before we do this one? Good morning, sir. Just give us one moment, okay? Thank you very much. Sir, may I have your name and date of birth?
Gennaro Urbina.
We're here today on an out-of-county warrant out of the Pima County Superior Court. It's for a case involving sex conduct with a minor, a Class 2 felony, and 3 counts of sexual abuse, Class 5 felonies. I will have an attorney appointed to represent you in this case and set an arraignment hearing in the Pima County Superior Court on September 27th at 8:30. I am going to affirm the bond in the warrant. Pima County was requesting a secured bond in the amount of $250,000. That does mean you can use a bonding company. Bonding companies generally require about 10% plus collateral to post that on your behalf. If you do post that bond, I am ordering that within 24 hours of your release from any jail facility, that you are to report to the Pretrial Services Department of Pima County Superior Court for installation of electronic monitoring device or an ankle monitor that's required by ARS Statute 133967. If you do post that bond, I'm also ordering that that you not return to the scene of any alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, no contact with any minors, no possessing any weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and no driving without a valid driver's license. Do you have any questions about my orders today?
No.
Okay, all that'll be in your paperwork. Go ahead and grab that and take a seat.